Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the channel World of Wrestling. Here today to discuss and give you guys a double dose of a wrestling review. This is the first time I'm ever doing this. I'm actually doing SmackDown and Rampage review all mixed in one for November 12th, 2021. I gotta say, both shows were not exactly all that good. Rampage had one good match with Dante, Martin, and Daivari. I thought that was an excellent match. The main event, which was the lumberjack match between Orange Cassidy and Matt Hardy, was alright, I guess, but there was a lot of fucking outside interferences taking place in the middle of that match that made absolutely no sense, blatantly right in front of the referee, which I don't understand why there wasn't a disqualification taking place during this match, but it was very odd. It seemed like AEW is taking a different direction on lumberjack matches, which, if that's the case, it's okay, because that was kind of entertaining, but at the same time, it kind of broke the rules on how the lumberjack matches go. So, a little confusion there for me. Didn't like how Matt Hardy lost this matchup, or won this matchup. I thought it was a real piss poor way of having him win. They had, I believe, the Blade come in with a brass knucks and hit Orange Cassidy right in the face with it and knocked him unconscious to get the 1, 2, 3. So nothing special there. Jungle Boy and Bobby Fish was an excellent way to open up the show. Absolutely enjoyed that. There was a backstage segment with Hangman Page and the Young Bucks with Adam Cole, after their match with Bobby Fish having his match with Jungle Boy. And Adam Cole left that scene after the Young Bucks said it was okay for him to leave, strictly because of the fact they wanted to hear what Hangman Page had to say. Hangman pretty much said this: look, I'm sorry for going ahead and being an idiot, causing our friendship to pretty much deteriorate and turn into nothing. And I apologize for that, and apologize for screwing you guys out of the tag team titles. At the same time, you guys screwed me out of the world championship opportunity earlier this year. So that pretty much makes us even. So, at this point in time, man, he said to both of them, if either one of you two interfere in this world title opportunity, I swear to God, I will destroy you guys. And that was pretty much that. Very nice little segment. I think the Young Bucks will keep their nose out of this. I think this is going to be a clean one-on-one match. No interferences are going to take place. If so, it's going to be a clusterfuck of different people, which I think that would be a terrible idea. I think it should be strictly between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. I think we should see a segment on Full Gear where Kenny Omega comes out to the Elite and says, look, man, guys, I got the biggest match of my life. Hangman Page is gunning for this title, and I want to prove to everybody that he's just a chump. He ain't no real champ. He ain't nobody that's going to become world champ. I got this. Let me just take care of it by myself, where there's no excuses and no way for him to say, oh, look, I got screwed. I want a rematch, blah, blah, blah. That type of thing. The only person that comes out with him is Don Callis. And that's about it. That's how I leave it. What else happened? Jade Cargill went against Santana, which was a very quick match. Red Velvet got involved later on after the match was over. They're supposed to go at it in the semifinals. So Red Velvet and Jade Cargill have actually developed a really good rivalry with each other. Despite the size differences, kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. And that's pretty much the show in a nutshell. Dante Martin won his match. Very excellent match. I think if you align Dante Martin with the proper, manager, I think he'd actually be all right. Leo Rush, I mean, he's a good wrestler, but manager-wise, I don't see him being the guy that could be a good manager for Dante Martin if he wanted to put Dante Martin a singles run. So, I wouldn't even go with him. But after his match, Team Taz actually offered him a spot in their group. And there's a little bit of hint I'm getting from this segment that Ricky Starks and Dante Martin may have a one-on-one match take place later on in the future, which I would be totally okay with. I think that would be an excellent idea, to be quite frank with you guys. So, yeah, I really like this little segment here because this is a future match that could turn into something really good. For both guys, really. I mean, Ricky Starks is a great performer in the ring, and Dante Martin, in the last couple of weeks, man, he's been on fire with all these good matches. His brother being out has actually benefited him a ton because of the fact that he's just been doing all these matches by himself. And he's just been electric in these matches. He may not have the greatest gimmick, and I know I've come on here and said that, but his in-ring capability just takes my breath away, man. This guy, I mean, he's not just one of these flip dive guys. He's got this pace about him that's just unbelievable. It is so mesmerizing and amazing how this guy just goes non-stop throughout an entire match and never slows down practically at all. I mean, the guy is just got great stamina, and he's got great in-ring ability to just do all these flips and dives that are full of energy and excitement. A lot of these other guys, I mean, they don't have that same kind of ability to do that. Dante Martin has that, and another guy that was just like him until he's been taken off of television, which he actually was on television tonight on SmackDown, Ricochet. Ricochet is another one of those guys that he can do all these flips and dives, but the pace of his matches, if you let him go all the way full gear with his, no pun intended, but if you let him go full pace in his matches the way he normally used to do it back in the indies, he would put on the best matches in the world. And I've seen him, man. This guy, Ricochet, he just delivers great fast-paced matches, and that's what wrestling has been missing for so long. The pace of the matches are just so fucking slow that it just bores the hell out of me. I don't know if that affects you guys in any way. Let me know in the comments down below. But personally, I think the pace of these matches in the last several years, maybe the last 10 years, the paces are just so fucking slow. It's just like, are we gonna see anything happen here? Any excitement? Because the way they do these paces, it's just so fucking pathetic. It's like, are you serious? Are you that out of breath? Are you tired? Are you just bored with your job? What the fuck are you doing? You know? And that's what I kind of feel like when I watch some of these matches. These matches either don't have a good story going on, or the pace of the match is just fucking boring as hell. And I gotta say, Dante Martin in these last couple of weeks has been delivering outstanding matches. There's no doubt about it, man. This guy is amazing. The only thing he's missing is a gimmick. He needs a good character development. He's a very shy, off-the-camera kind of dude. He's not really much of a talker. Probably a manager would be the best thing for him right now, based on the fact that he's not really doing a whole lot of talking. You hardly ever hear anything from him when he does talk. It's very bland, ordinary type of guy. Nothing stands out about him. The only thing that really helps him out is his in-ring wrestling ability, and that's what's saving him a lot, big time, man. I've never seen a guy work this good since Ricochet. Ricochet, he's not the best on the mic either, but he's got a little bit more of a personality. This guy, Dante Martin, doesn't have any of that. He needs a manager like a Paul Heyman or some kind of shit. Because right now, Dante Martin, outside of his in-ring wrestling ability, has nothing going for him, personally. But you don't even think about his talking ability, just what he does in the ring. He takes my breath away, man. No doubt about it. So, off of the Dante Martin shit, let's get into the real boring shit. Oh, God. 2 hours. I got home after doing my laundry. I got home around 9:20. I watched the entire episode of SmackDown. 2 hours. I skipped all the commercials, saw all the matches, and I swear to you folks, not one fucking thing mattered on this show. Not one. I am not kidding you. It is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen in my life. I truly do not understand how in the hell people tune into this shit, sit through this stuff, and actually care. There was nothing on this show that meant anything. They got people getting added to a competition between Raw and SmackDown. And then they're being removed. Why they're being removed, I have no idea. That's number one. Number two, why do they have every single match being a fucking Raw versus SmackDown match? Why can't they install a stipulation? The winning team, after all the matches completed. If you're going to do all these matches, Raw and SmackDown, then do this. The winner of all the matches, whoever's got the most wins at the end of the pay-per-view, gets the main event spot of WrestleMania for night one, or for night two. Being that is technically the last show, the last actual show for the pay-per-view. They're going to have 2 nights. So, the winner of that, the entire night of Survivor Series would get the ability to main event WrestleMania, being night 2, because technically that is the main event. That's the real main event. And they would get that spot for night 2, being that is the last portion of the pay-per-view itself. So that's the way I would do it. To make this pay-per-view even remotely important for people to even want to tune in. This will give the people an idea of what to expect for WrestleMania, what direction they might be going in. They might be interested in taking a look at that and seeing what they have to say, what they decide to do going into this pay-per-view, and be able to get a general idea of what to expect for WrestleMania's main event. So that's just my attitude on that. Personally, I don't see any point in this show even taking place. I mean, if you want to do Raw versus SmackDown in a fucking, just for the Survivor Series traditional matches, that's one thing, but to actually do a full-fledged show of every match being Raw versus SmackDown, I think is really pathetic. It just shows a lack of effort to even produce anything that's important. And I personally just do not give a shit about Survivor Series this year. Survivor Series has just become worse and worse and worse and worse every single year. And I mean like building up towards the pay-per-view. So, that's just the way I feel about that. But, to kickstart the show, we had Sonya Deville. I'm practically with my eyes closed here trying to talk to you guys. I had a long fucking day, so if I sound tired, I do apologize, but man, what a fucking week I've had. Anyway, so basically, they had Sonya Deville introduce all the members of the women's tag team for Survivor Series. Aaliyah is part of this group. How she got there, I don't know, but they decided to remove her after the match that they had on the actual show took place, where she won, which made no sense at all to remove her from the team when she had her very first match and won, showing that she is capable of enough to be part of the team. Why they took her off the team makes no fucking sense to me. But then again, when does WWE ever make sense? If you don't believe me, go ask Vince and Bruce Pritchard. I mean, that's the truth, man. Because those two guys are technically running this fucking show. Bruce is sucking on Vince McMahon's balls, and Vince McMahon's going, yes, I like that idea. That sounds really good. I'm not doing the perfect Vince McMahon voice I usually do, because it's late, and I'm just really tired and don't care to fucking do that shit. But yeah. So, that's what happened there. Everything broke down. Sasha Banks got pissed off at Shotzi Blackheart. I am not just calling her Shotzi. That's like saying Yahtzee. The whole thing was the whole name change is fucking ridiculous. Really. Really pathetic. But yeah, this eventually led to Sasha Banks and Shotzi Blackheart brawling after she introduced everybody. Very odd. And Sasha Banks got her own entrance while all the other women just stood there in the ring lined up and took a bow when their name was called, saying that, hey, they're part of the team, which, whatever, man. These people they're out of their fucking minds. Really. I don't understand how anyone could even fucking enjoy this shit. We also had Naomi show up during this brawl. Why Naomi showing up, I have no idea, but they decided to turn it into a 6-woman tag team match. Okay. We had Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Aaliyah versus Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, and Natalya. Aaliyah picked up the victory, and the person she pinned, I believe, was Natalya. Let me just double check that real quick. Yeah, it was Natalya. She rolls her up for the 1, 2, 3 and gets the victory. Backstage, Sami Zayn is speaking about himself as a locker room leader and a team captain. The camera pans out and Zayn is shown talking to a mirror instead of the rest of the team. Thought this was kind of interesting how they did that. I was kind of fooled for a moment, and then Jeff Hardy was backstage with him, looking on, and Zayn eventually notices Hardy, which I don't understand how he didn't notice him in the first place. He was in the room with him the whole entire time, making Zayn look like a complete and utter idiot. Hardy insults Zayn's speech as Zayn walks off, and that was pretty much that. Big fucking whoop-de-doo. This eventually led to Sami Zayn having a match with Jeff Hardy, where if Zayn loses, he's off the team, or Jeff Hardy loses, he's off the team. So somebody's gonna go. They're making all these unnecessary changes. Okay, if they're wanting to make these changes, then why did they initially make the announcements? Oh, I forgot, because they planned to do the announcements about a week and a half before the fucking pay-per-view is supposed to come to pass, and they were like, oh, okay, let's just throw some names in there. If we want to alter or change anything, we'll just do it in the last couple of weeks we got left of Raw and SmackDown before Survivor Series. It's okay, nobody will care. You're damn right nobody cares, because the show doesn't have any purpose or reason to even being, it has no reason to take place. It really don't. It's a complete utter waste of time. I find this very, very distasteful. It's a total disrespect to Survivor Series. It makes it feel like Survivor Series shouldn't even exist. And Survivor Series used to be a very fun pay-per-view. It hasn't been a very fun, entertaining pay-per-view for a very long time, but back in the day, it used to be something that it meant something. So it is what it is, I guess. I'm not going to sit here and bellyache over it. I've done that enough in the last couple of months, actually the last few years with this channel. So I'm just not going to sit here and bellyache about the same old crap. It's kind of worthless. So Universal Champion Roman Reigns is interviewed backstage. Reigns denies the interview and tells Heyman to talk. Heyman says Woods will acknowledge Reigns tonight. If Reigns violates the stipulation tonight, he can be stripped of the Universal Championship and banished from SmackDown. You'll find out why I laughed just now later on when we get to this main event, because this was absolutely fucking dreadful. I just couldn't believe what I saw. Rick Boogs shows up on stage, introduces the Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, and plays him down to the ring on his guitar. So, we go to commercial break. We get Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs versus Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. And Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza pick up the victory, with Angel Garza pinning. Yes, you got this. Pinning Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion. He eats an L instead of Rick Boogs. If you're going to have the team that Shinsuke Nakamura is on to lose, don't make him be the one that eats the pinfall, okay? I mean, that just sounds fucking stupid. But anyway, that's the way the match ended, and I don't really care. I really don't. I already talked about the whole situation with Sami Zayn backstage with Adam Pearce. This is really ridiculous how Adam Pearce gives a shit about what SmackDown has. He's acting like he cared this past Monday on Raw about who's on the team of Raw to make Team Raw a more effective team than what they were last year, losing all the matches and not winning one. I don't understand. Why is he giving a fuck what either show does? You pick the damn teams, stick with the fucking teams. Don't just change them whenever you feel like it because it just seems right. No, none of it seems right. The whole fucking thing's a complete waste of other fucking time. Literally. This is just a complete utter waste of everybody's fucking time, man. God almighty. This company's shit. I don't know how the fuck they're still in business. I mean, WCW wasn't even as bad as this, and yet they couldn't even stay in business. Yet these fucking assholes are. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable garbage. So, after that segment, we get SmackDown with the women's champion, Charlotte Flair, in the ring. Oh, brother. 1 minute, I think this woman's bipolar. I think she's playing a bipolar character. One minute she's favoring the crowd, saying how she's going to shut down Becky Lynch, and being very, very rude and nasty to the heel, showing tendencies of a face, and then and playing along with the crowd and having the crowd, feel good and interacting with the crowd in a very positive way. She doesn't make fun of the crowd. She doesn't say anything bad about the crowd at all. And she's shitting all over fucking Becky Lynch, who's a heel. And you got Charlotte Flair, having an ego deal going on in the middle of her promo, but she starts saying that she should be looked at with a new gimmick as the some sort of star power or some kind of shit, that she helps others get acknowledged even when they lose, no matter what. So Charlotte Flair is later interrupted by Toni Storm. Toni Storm has not been seen in months. This woman had 2 fucking matches, hasn't done nothing on this program, gets in the ring and has the balls to say, I want a match with you for the women's championship. Are you fucking kidding me? And her reason for why she's challenging her is because Becky Lynch defended her title against Bianca Belair. Let's do a comparison here. Bianca Belair, Toni Storm. Bianca Belair has been on television for a year and a half consistently, winning matches, won her biggest match of all time so far in her career at WrestleMania in Night 1's main event against one of the biggest names of the 4 horsewomen named Sasha Banks, wins that match, and holds on to it and beats Bayley several different times throughout their little rivalry they had going on for a few months. And then she hits a stun block with Becky Lynch because for whatever reason they didn't want to give Bianca Belair the push that she deserved. And it would have made a lot more sense to have Bianca Belair be Raw Women's Champion to go up against Charlotte Flair, because Charlotte Flair still technically in my mind is a heel. And the way she displayed herself at the end of this promo definitely played that way. So, yeah, you want to do a comparison between Bianca Belair and Toni Storm demanding a world championship match against Charlotte Flair, who she has done nothing. Toni Storm has done nothing on this program because they haven't done anything with her to make her seem relevant or even important to even challenge for a SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm not dissing Toni Storm because of Toni Storm. I'm dissing her because the way she's been built up to go forth and challenge for this title, which makes absolutely no sense in my mind at all. It is completely, utterly ridiculous to even fathom her challenging for a championship. It's worse than Liv Morgan challenging for the Raw Women's title against Becky Lynch. I mean, at least with Liv Morgan, she's done some things on the programs in the last couple of months, even as early as Money in the Bank, where she actually meant as something. But still, even her isn't worthy enough of even sniffing a world championship from either one of these women. But bottom line, you're going to have Toni Storm come out there and demand a fucking women's championship match? Come on. That's ridiculous. I mean, I know that there's a lot of haters for Charlotte Flair, but even the haters for Charlotte Flair can admit that Toni Storm is not the appropriate challenger for the women's championship on SmackDown right now. As much as I like her, and I really do, I will hope that she gets better character-wise based on her build. I hope they build her correctly. But bottom line, she is not worthy enough to even challenge for the title. If you're going to have someone challenge for the title, make it somewhat believable so people can enjoy the match and maybe be surprised by an end result where Charlotte Flair loses the title, which a lot of people are probably begging for that to happen anyway at this point, no matter what. But they want someone that they believe is going to actually win, not somebody who's going to get a title shot and lose miserably, regardless of the fact that they have the balls to come out there and request for a championship match in the first place. So, that's just my attitude on that. King Woods is interviewed backstage, and he says that he will not bend the knee to Reigns. Woods takes a serious tone and says the New Day has had a rough week, and that will stop tonight as Woods will storm the Island of Relevancy and plant his flag in the name of King Woods. This gimmick, this whole situation with Xavier Woods becoming the King of the Ring winner absolutely sucked. It should have went to Finn Balor, bottom line. There's no question about it. Finn Balor could have made a lot more benefit off of this gimmick than Woods, being that the fact that Finn Balor goes by the name of the Prince Finn Balor from his New Japan Wrestling days. And for him to take the King of the Ring crown and be the winner of that tournament would have made a lot more sense than Xavier Woods. But hey, then again, who the fuck ever makes sense in WWE anyway? So I'm just talking to the choir here at this point. So what the fuck? Who cares? Jeff Hardy beats Sami Zayn. Decent, okay match. Nothing, extraordinary happened here. Jeff Hardy hits a twist of fate and then a swanton bomb. He also hit the Whisper in the Wind, which, I haven't seen that in a very long time. We also had a backstage interview with Ridge Holland, which I have to admit, Ridge Holland has got a nice look to him. He's okay in the mic, even with the accent. I appreciate what he has to offer. Supposedly, Holland is becoming Sheamus's tag team partner, or wants to become tag team partner with Sheamus. I think that would be a good idea. Him tagging along with Sheamus would probably help him out, building him up as a character and so forth. So I think that would be a good idea. Holland, though, was interrupted later by Cesaro. Cesaro says he's known Sheamus for a very long time. Cesaro warns Holland about Sheamus. Holland says he is taking Cesaro's place and he will be Sheamus's partner and they will be better than the Bar ever was. I highly doubt that's the case, but then again, the Bar didn't really set the bar too high. Anyway, we move on to the main event, which... Folks, I got to admit, this match was absolutely... It was not trash, but the end result was the trashy part about this whole thing. I don't quite understand what the fuck just happened in this, but the Usos cost Roman Reigns this match. He did not bow. I mean, he did bow, but he did not bow down to Xavier Woods. He bowed down to receive Xavier Woods' crown and stand tall in the middle of the ring with the World Championship in his hand and fireworks going off. Well, actually, not the championship in his hand. Paul Heyman was holding the title up high in the background while he just held his index finger up in the air as they are number one, the Bloodline. Folks, that made absolutely no fucking sense. Didn't Paul Heyman say earlier in the show that if Roman Reigns does not kneel to Xavier Woods, he would be stripped of the World Championship and banished from SmackDown? We didn't get any of that. Roman Reigns lost by disqualification. He stands in the middle of the ring holding a fucking crown on his head. He didn't win the match. I couldn't understand if he won the match, put the crown on his head, and Xavier would bow down to him. That was not the case at all. What are they going with here? They're going to plan on, stripping him of the title, getting him off SmackDown, and he moves over to Raw? I doubt that's going to even happen. I guarantee you what's going to happen is this is not going to even be acknowledged on next week's episode. Nobody's going to care, and we're going to move on from all this. And it's not going to even matter. What a load of shit. Really. This whole entire episode was a complete load of shit. I know I said Rampage wasn't all exciting. Now, don't get me wrong. Rampage was actually better than SmackDown, despite the fact that I don't think Rampage was all that great. But then again, this is the go-home show. It wasn't really meant to be a super exciting episode. It was just a light scheduled show to give us a little bit of wrestling leading into tomorrow's pay-per-view for Full Gear. But other than that, guys, these two episodes were not that exciting. The only thing that stood out to me that was a little bit better was Rampage with a few matches that they did. Other than that, SmackDown was a complete travesty of a fucking show. It didn't really matter whether if I watched it or I didn't. The show was trash. 100% unadulterated trash. So, after all this talking for the last 30 plus minutes, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course, hit the subscribe button. And leave a comment down below to anything that I talked about in this review. And I'll definitely get back to you on that. At this time, guys, I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm tired as fuck. I will be uploading this video, and I'm heading to bed. So at this time, guys, I thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.